People always think I'm arguing. I'm thinking it might be the tone. Sometimes when I begin to talk about something I'm super passionate about, then I begin to speak. I think it shows in my tone. I don't know how exactly it shows, but it shows in my tone. I know I begin to speak faster. And, passion shows in your tone anyway. And then all of a sudden, people start asking me, are you angry? Are you angry? I'm not angry. Why is everybody always asking me if I'm angry? You ask me a question, I'm trying to explain it to you. Why is everybody asking me if I'm angry? And then it's not just that, but they think I'm arguing sometimes. Like, I don't see a lot of things as arguing. To me, it's just natural that when you say something, if I don't agree with it, I might offer my own opinion. If I agree with it, I'll let you know I agree with it. And in my head, everybody has a right to offer an opinion since we're just having a conversation anyway. But a lot of times people tell me, oh, you're arguing. I'm not arguing, especially when it comes to texting or sending emails. Like many times, you would see that people would just, like you'd send a text, and in the text, you want to be explanatory, you want to explain things very well. You want to explain things very well so that there won't be any room for them to misunderstand what you're trying to say or to misconstrue what you're trying to say, to maybe think you're being rude. Because again, you've had past experiences where people have thought you've been rude. You've had past experiences where people have thought you were rude. So somehow you've learned that whenever you say things, you want to explain yourself very well so that they don't think that you're rude or anything like that. Or that you're angry or anything like that. But somehow it always backfires because then they start, you see some people would get very defensive, as if you're trying, as if by explaining yourself in the way you're explaining, as if by writing a very long note, you're somehow saying something negative about them, or that you are being aggressive towards them, and then they become defensive, and you see that their tone will change towards you, and they'll become harsh and all of that. Some people do it verbally, some people will do it via text, and some people will just begin to misbehave, like they'll begin to show you attitude. I remember recently there was this was the particular event that made me realize that it was something in my tone that made people think that I was being rude or being aggressive or arguing because somebody was with me, like a family member, and they were trying to converse with someone else over the phone via text. So, and they asked me to help them text the person to just go back and forth with them. And so I texted them and I wanted to explain what the person was trying to say. I wanted to explain it as much as possible so that there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. So the text was a bit long. And all of a sudden, this person who had been verbose in their texts, who had been, chill kind of, all of a sudden they just became closed off. You could read it in the text. It just wrote like one word answers. They were like noted. That kind of passive aggressive type of response. Okay, noted. Fine, full stop. And then I started thinking about it. And then later on, when we encountered that person, they still retained that attitude. And so I started thinking back that what is it? This person was not like this before. And I realized that it was that text that I sent. It was a text that I sent that was the delineating line. And they had become like that. They had become closed up. They had started giving that attitude because I sent them that text. Maybe because they thought, I was arguing with them or I was being rude or something. I don't know what it is exactly. So it's a curse. Guys, I want to show you. Look at this dog. It's very funny. And the other ones are not in the water. They're up there. Just watching. But this one is just having its fun. Okay. All right. I think that tone issue has something to do with the way, I think it's right up there. Like it's associated with the way people think you're blunt, or the way people think you're rude, or the way people think you're harsh, or the way people think I'm blunt or rude or harsh when I speak. I think another effect of that, or a part of that, overall effect is people thinking that I'm arguing when I'm not. And I think it's also linked to just the aura or the energy. I think there's something in the energy that, as an autistic person, you're intense, or I'm intense. We generally are. And part of that intense energy is intimidating to people. And sometimes some people find that same energy attractive, and some people find it aggravating, and it makes them defensive towards you. And the way you know is you don't even have to open your mouth to speak. Some people just read that energy from you and they don't know what they are reading, but they already have made their decision. They've already made their judgments before they've even met you, spoken a word to you, said hi to you, whatever. You've never done anything to them. And some people begin to attach themselves to you, and it's almost as if they need to attach themselves to you. They can't let you go. It's that same energy. And I think it has to do with what's going on inside the person and of themselves. Like, it has nothing to do with us because we've not done anything. We just are. But it has a lot to do with what's going on in each person. What's going on in each person is going to determine whether they would want to attach themselves to you or whether they'll be neutral about you. Like, whoever comes, whoever you are, they'll take you as you are, or whether they'll feel threatened by you, and in that case tend to aggress upon you in whatever way, whether in terms of, whether verbally or in terms of the energy they give to you, etc., etc.